You remember playing Dead Space under the cover of a warm blanket as not zombies assault you from the cover of darkness? Now imagine going through it all again with just one gun.
The original Dead Space achievement list wasn't too special. Beat the game, collect secrets, kill enemies. A good portion were unlocked by playing through the normal game or used to introduce the base mechanics. It doesn't mean their inclusion is inherently bad, some were tough and actually made me feel like I had achieved something by beating them. But there was one beautiful achievement. One achievement that was a shining example of what all baby achievements want to be when they grow up. This changed how you thought about the game and changed how you were introduced to conflicts, and possibly made this already great horror game even more terrifying. Or at least at first. One gun is this achievement, and it's probably my favorite achievement to date. It requires you to beat the game using only the plasma cutter. The plasma cutter being the first weapon given to your character. It's found on a bloody shelf, and from then on, it's with you to the bitter end. It serves as the game's version of a pistol. It's close to medium range, quick, and just strong enough to get you by. Its alternate fire is even boring, allowing you to shoot a normally vertical plasma shot to a horizontal one. Most other weapons seem to offer so much more, like the Ripper's ability to shoot a saw blade and direct where it goes after it's been shot, or how the line gun can leave a mine waiting for any enemy who dare follow you. This achievement challenges you to take the rinky-dink plasma cutter, settle down with it, and make it your one and only as you walk, run, and fight down the dark solemn halls of the Ishimura. From the moment you acquire the plasma cutter, it becomes painfully obvious how terrifying it is to rely solely on what's presented as the game's weakest weapon. It can shoot one, maybe two enemies at a time, and this allows the more mobile enemies to surround you. Its stopping power can leave something to be desired, which gives plenty of opportunity for waves of enemies to overrun you when there's just too many. Or even a new adversary you're not going to be equipped for, namely the Swarmers, which are a large amount of small enemies that cling to you and deal damage over time until removed. You will learn to see situations coming and react quickly to persevere. Maybe it's smarter to run than to stand and fight. Maybe you should perfect the clunky melee attack to save ammo, but it's going to cost life. In the first chapter, a small troop of military-trained soldiers with fully automatic weaponry are completely taken out all at once. And you're an engineer, with a makeshift pistol. Exploring your surroundings isn't comforting either, as it features messages written in blood and audio logs of the now dead staff of the Ishimura, all a grim reminder that you are alone. And that simple cutter isn't enough to pull you through. Despite this, progress is steady. The game knows what you have and is designed around your empty pockets. Foes are often introduced at the end of long hallways, and enough ammo is given to survive. The environment is cramped but well lit. It requires enemies to first present themselves before moving in for the kill. Seeing a suspicious dead body lurch back to life is terrifying, but the moments it takes to stand are moments that can be taken to fight back. As you progress, new weapons will be offered, and with them new challenges. Challenges that you won't be prepared for. A weapon that can shoot one thing at a time isn't exactly useful in a world where enemies are called swarmers and dividers. The game's expecting you to have a new toy and wants to encourage its use, so we'll throw out new experiences tailor-made for your non-existent secondary weapon. Adversity demands you think differently, or fall apart. By now you might be thinking that the one-gun achievement is extremely difficult. Spending an entire game underpowered as odds stack higher and higher as each weapon is passed over could turn away the most brave players. But there's a twist. Every item passed allows you to focus and hone in on what you do have, and you only have the one plasma cutter. Anything that you pick up that doesn't help that is useless. Sell it. Sell it for credits that can get you more ammo, better armor, health items for darker times, and most importantly, power nodes. Power nodes can upgrade any weapon at your disposal, and you only have the one gun. You've survived with that one gun for a while now, learning to use it at its peak potential. Its seemingly boring alternate fire turns into the most versatile weapon in the game. What it cannot handle can be worked around through careful thought and planning. The Ripper has a neat way to take out multiple enemies while conserving ammo, but the plasma cutter has so much more ammo you're not going to need to worry about that. Who would want to use the line gun's mine when the plasma cutter can cut off the legs of enemies, leaving them to a crawl? And the flamethrower is a joke. By the end of the game, you'll have a very different character than most. Most players will have a terrified space engineer limping by with a large amount of lacking weaponry, but one-gun players will have a petrified billionaire with a hand cannon that can make Dirty Harry blush and stocked with a pile of health items that could fill a small pharmacy. Your choices will be very different than a normal playthrough. My personal run consisted of a weird strategy where anytime I encountered the previously mentioned swarmers, I would just run straight into them, embracing the damage while swatting them off with my hands, and then heal back up to pristine condition. I just had that many health items that it was easier to deal with the pain than to try to shoot a moving mass of tickle-worthy damage. And that exactly is what makes this fantastic achievement so great. What it does to you as a player, not how hard it is or how long it takes to obtain, it's to challenge a new perspective on how to play the game. Imagine going through an entire first-person shooter playing the floor as lava, jumping from obstacle to obstacle, all while fending off enemies, or maybe playing an action RPG without ever leveling up. One Gun is a smart and fun way to design a new experience out of an already great game, and a lot of other achievements can learn from it. I did it!
That was really good.